Hey guys, it's Adam from the Dimensional Gaming Squad here, bringing you with a brand new video, and a video I've been very hyped to do. This video I have been hyping up for a while, ever since the start of the 18 type rankings actually. And here's the reason why I wanted to upload it on the 10th of December. Because the 10th of December happens to be my birthday, and not only that, it's my 18th birthday. So I thought, okay, why not do a top 18? And I was thinking, what is something that I like that has 18 bits in it? And I was like, oh, wait a minute, the types in Pokemon. There are 18 types in Pokemon. So I was like, okay, so I'd be turning 18, I could do a top 18, and it could be uploaded on the day it's my birthday, so the 18th. Well, the 10th, but still, but 18th birthday and also the top 18. I think it'll be brilliant. That's why it's been uploaded today. It is a bit dark out, so oh my god, I can't believe it's finally 18. Oh god. Okay, so need to do good here. Please do good, Adam. Come on. So let's get right into this video. This is a ranking of all the 18 types in Pokemon. This is obviously my opinion. So if your opinion is different, I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. But please feel free to leave your opinions down in the comments below of your entire ranking. Top 10, top 5, even top 3 of each type down in the comments below. Something else that'll be going on with this ranking is that I'll be giving my favourite Pokemon for that type as well. There'll be no repeat Pokemon, so you won't see Lucario on Fighting and Steel. You'll see Lucario on one of them. Same with Greninja, same with a bunch of other Pokemon. But the Pokemon that is going to be on there that wasn't number 1, it's for the reason because I prefer that Pokemon that's in number 2 better than the Pokemon that's in number 2 on the other list. So this should all map out perfectly to the 18 rankings. If not, then I clearly made a mistake, but hopefully I didn't. And without any further ado, let's get right into this. 18th place, kicking off the list in last place, 18th, is the Ice type. Now, I said this so many times, I hate the Ice type. The Ice type has no resistances apart from itself. It has 4 weaknesses and 3 or 4 types it is strong against. However, there are other types that can do its job better. So for its weaknesses, Dragon, Fairy and Dragon can take care of it better than Ice. Flying, Electric, Ground can be treated easily by Water. And what was the other one? Grass, Fire, easily. Yeah, and the fact that most other types, especially the Water type, can learn pretty much most of the Ice type moves, or an Ice type move for coverage, it just makes the Ice type feel very useless. And it's the average stats of all the Ice types there. It's just mediocre and on the bottom end of the scale. It's not the worst stat total for all the averages, but it's not brilliant. And to add on with the fact that every time I try to use an Ice type team, I rarely won. I don't think it really deserves to go up any higher than it already is. It's at the lowest it could possibly go. Moving on, and my favourite Ice type is kind of obvious considering it's number 1 in the Ice type list, and that is Lapras. Lapras is there for its gorgeous design, the help it gave in the Nuzlocke, and the fact that its moveset is amazing, its stats are great, and it's probably one of the few Ice types I will happily say it's the best. Actually, okay, hold on. I actually can't remember if Ice types actually were number 1 in that ranking. No, they weren't. Lapras was actually number 2. Oops. So you know where Weavar's going to come now. 17th place is the Rock type. Now, Rock type, yeah. tied with grass for the most weaknesses is not a good thing to have, especially when you're being ranked on how useful they are and my personal experience with them. Rock types have rarely won me any battles, but I am proud to say that one of the strongest mono teams I have is a rock type. It's not the strongest, but it's not the weakest at all. It's fourth, maybe? It has so many range of differences with each Pokemon with the stats. But it's mainly low speed, high defense. But since the types it's weak to, especially grass and water, they come in special attacks as well, making Rock's defense a bit on the bad side, because its special defense isn't very high. Hence why it's down there. I actually never really liked it that much, but some of the rock types have stood out a lot to me. But I think it's fair to say none more so than I need to check if it's number one. Yeah, none more so than number one on my rock type ranking. Tyranitar. Tyranitar is the Godzilla Pokemon, and easily would be my favourite rock type. I have used a couple for what? I've used a couple, but I think the Tyranitar that's in my multi-type list, in my multi-type team, it takes the cake for the strongest one, as it can Mega Evolve, and the fact it supports the rest of its team rather well. Not great considering it's multi-typing, but the fact I normally send out Tyranitar last or second to last does help a bit. But its stats are great, its design looks amazing, and I'm going to be honest, Aggron and Tyrantrum and probably Lycanroc were close to taking the cake for the best rock type. Armado maybe, but I was confident, that's not going to be there. 16th place, the grass type. Now, like I said with rock, they're tied with the most weaknesses. That is not good at all. Unfortunately, what makes the grass types slightly worse than rock is that rock is super effective against bug, flying, and fire. Yeah. Whilst grass is super effective against water, ground, and rock. Rock is more super effective against the more common types, whilst grass is only super effective against one of the common types. Two. So that is not a good start, but okay, I guess. Grass types, the grass is the first of all of the starter trio, hence why I had to give it a bit of credit for the fact it's this high. It's the highest it's going to get. Grass types, what else about grass types can I say? This is probably the type that has the most feminine Pokemon to it. Which doesn't sound all bad, but most Pokemon fans I see, they just go like, the grass type's for feminine, for girls that play Pokemon. I'm like, yeah, but there are some masculine Pokemon out there in the grass type as well. There's Trevenant, Sceptile, Ferrothorn. Granted, there's Lilligant and Sarina, but there are some masculine Pokemon in the grass type as well, and they've all proven to be rather useful, just some more useful than others. And I think it's pretty obvious what my favourite grass type is. But it's not actually number one in this ranking. It was in fact number 2. Sceptile is my favourite grass type on this list for the simple reason I had great experiences with it. It's one of my strongest Pokemon I've ever owned. And its Mega is probably one of my favourite Megas as well. It's not the best, but it's certainly not the worst. And I can talk about Sceptile for a while, but it's not the Pokemon I would prefer to talk about for a while. It's probably around in the top 10 that I would talk about Sceptile. But Sceptile's design looks amazing. Its move pool isn't the greatest. Its stats aren't amazing. But it's just there for design and the fact that I had a close attachment to it in my a Mega Ruby playthrough, and my Sapphire playthrough as well. I think I used... No, sorry, I didn't use it in Sapphire. I chose Mudkip in Sapphire. I chose Trico in Emerald. So that... It has to have a bit of a addition up there. That's why it's on there. 15th place, we have Fairy type. And Fairy type is the newest type out of all of them. Its two weaknesses is Poison and Steel, which... One is a very common type, one isn't as common. But that's nothing to be ashamed of. Like, you have one weakness that's a very common type. But that's nothing to be ashamed of. Fairy types is known to be one of the strongest types, since it is super effective against the most overpowered type, being Dragon. It's also super effective against the Dark type, the Fighting type, and that is... Wow, really? The three? Dark, Dragon, and Fighting. Okay, I thought it was super effective against another type, but clearly not. Now, half the Poke fans say that Grass type is the more feminine side of Pokemon. Other people say Fairy. I don't know what you want me to say. They both have feminine and masculine Pokemon in each set. Feminine for fairies, Gardevoir, Aromatisse, Slurpuff. And the masculine side of the fairy types, there are Marwile, Mimikyu, I don't know. Fairy types are probably the feminine side of Pokemon, but that's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm not going to say, hey, it's the feminine side of Pokemon, it deserves to be really low on this list. It's low on this list because, yes, it's a rather old type now, but not as old as the others. It's the newest. And I had so many times to get attached to it. It's just the Pokemon in it aren't amazing. There are some Pokemon which are great, but there are some Pokemon on the other end of that spectrum which are just there. Some are forgettable, like Klefki. Some are downright hideous, like Aromatisse. And some, like Gardevoir, deserve more recognition. Well, you can't get more recognition. Like, Gardevoir was a pure Psychic type, now it's a Psychic Fairy, and it has a Mega. It doesn't need any more recognition, but that's what I mean. There are some fairy types out there which I think need more recognition. Like, Florges, probably Klefki. Klefki can be proven to be useful. Dedenne as well. But as for all those Pokemon I said, none of them are my favourite fairy type. My favourite fairy type is Sylveon. Sylveon is my favourite fairy type and my favourite evolution. Evolution by a mile. Fairy type probably by a few meters. The reason why Sylveon is here instead of Gardevoir, simple reason. I love its design. I love its appearances in the anime. And Serena's Sylveon. It's probably my favourite Pokemon that she owned, actually. It doesn't really have that much standout moments. But that's okay. I'm happy with it being a side Pokemon. Just supporting Ash's Pokemon and performing in... I think they're contests, but I'm not sure what they're actually called. I know in Sinnoh it's called contests, but I can't remember what they're called in Kalos. But that's why it's 15th place for me, and that's why Sylveon's my favourite. It appears quite a few in a contest, and I think it's proven to be rather useful in that. 14th place, we have the normal type. Now, this one is no surprise to everyone that this one's going to be low on this list. The normal types, for the simple reason, they're bland. The only reason why they're higher than Ice, Rock, Grass and Fairy is that it has one weakness, one immunity, and so much move pool. Its move pool, any normal type for that fact. Snorlax, Slacking, Smeagol's a great option as well. Most of the normal types can have a variety of moves from other types added onto them, giving it perfect coverage, give it a flying type move and a psychic type move, you just got your counter to the fighting type, and give it a ghost type move and you got your counter to the ghost types, or maybe a dark type move as well. Either way, you're just sorted there with using normal types. And then you'll have that one extra slot left over for either a normal type move for stab, or you can have that and get rid of either a psychic or flying type move and replace it for another move that could give you more coverage. Which is actually really broken, and I've never seen any other type do that as better as the normal type. And my favourite normal type, isn't obvious, has to be the American bird, Braviary. Now, Braviary was second place for the flying type and second place for the normal type. You can see old habits didn't change. It came runner-up in both of those rankings, losing to only one other flying normal type. But it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's probably the strongest out of all the regional birds, even though this one's available later in the game. But that's besides the point. It's the strongest out of all the flying types in Universe and all the other regional birds. I'll go as far as to say it should be, if Pokemon was real, it'll be every country's mascot. And its Pokédex entry, the fact is it gets more respect from its own kind from the number of scars it has. Badass on a plate right there. So, yeah, nothing really bad to say about that. Braviary, amazing Pokemon. Stats, great. Moveset, mediocre. But design and backstory behind it and what it's actually based off. It's the most patriotic thing that has ever been created from Pokemon. Ah, God, I got something in my eye. 13th place. It's going to be a bit of a surprise to some of you, but the electric type. Now, the electric type was high on this list, but I moved it down drastically for the simple reason, hey, most of these electric types are kind of boring to me. They do look a bit boring in my opinion, but that doesn't mean I won't use them. The main reason why they're here is for the simple reason, okay, so the electric types have one weakness, that's good. No immunities, that's worse than normal. But their designs, they're just a bit bland in my opinion. I'll go as far as to say my favourite electric type, that I'll be talking about later, has a bit of bland design myself. Electivire has a bland design in my opinion. Raichu, Zero Aura. I'm probably pissing a lot of you guys off right now. But they're just a bit basic. They're missing something, I think. I think what the electric type need is something to boost them up a bit. Like Toxtricity, the Gen 8 electric poison type, is a great Pokemon. It'll probably be on my rank. It'll probably be my favourite electric type soon. But even that one's missing something. I think there's something that the electric types need to make them stand out more, other than just lightning bolts on their design. They need something extra, but I don't know what it is. There's something missing in it, but I don't know. And for that simple reason, that's why it's here. Honestly, I'm surprised it's higher than normal and fairy. But my favourite electric type is Zebstrika. As I said, a bit of a bland design. But that's besides the point. I like its appearance in the anime. I like how it's used in the anime. I like its moveset and its stats. Design a bit bland after a bit of since the electric type all the way to now. I have changed my opinion on all the electric types. The ranking is still the same, but it's more like they all went down a bit in design because they're a bit bland in my opinion. That's all I could say about the electric types. I'm sorry if I annoyed some of you here, but I'm sorry, that's my opinion. 12th place, the bug type. Now this is definitely going to annoy you because I put the bug types higher than electric. Bug types are here for the simple reason they were underrated they're underrated. They're the most underrated type. In Gen 1, they were the weakest type. In Gen 2 and onwards, they've proven to be more than the weakest type. They've gained stronger moves, better Pokemon, And what else? Oh, what else? More strategic moves given to them, especially Sticky Web. Sticky Web's I'll go as far as say my favorite bug type move, and that's not even an attacking move. So, coming from someone that would happily use Sticky Web anytime he gets it, you have to admit, if he likes that move as his favorite bug type move, then obviously he likes the bug types, and I do. But the thing that's holding it back is that it's still underrated. It's not the strongest type by any means. But if there's anything that's holding it back, just has to be the Gen 1 bug types. Butterfree, Beedrill, Cypher. I'm sorry about that, Lucas. Pinsir. Sorry about that to myself. And Venomoth, and I believe Parasect. Most of them are rather bad. 2, maybe 3 to a push are okay. But they're better bug types as the new regions got introduced. Leavanny is the main reason, also my favourite bug type, more on him later. Scolipede, what was the Gen 6 bug type? Not Vivillon, no, okay, skip Gen 6. There was Volcarona as well, that's a main attribute. Gen 7 bug types, Vikavolt. And what else can I say? Galvantula and Ariados. All on the newer sides than Gen 1 bug types, and they're all better. Heracross, Scizor. Yeah, I could go on for ages about why the newer bug types are better than the older ones. But let's go on to my favourite. You already know who it is, Leavanny. Leavanny is here for the simple reason. If you haven't seen the grass type or the bug type ranking, then please go back and watch it, because I'm not going to explain it again. But it's simply the experience I had of it in a certain battle. That's why it's here. 11th place, the ghost type. What can I say about the ghost type? They're created to be the spooky looking type, and it delivers. It's a very strange, obscure, creepy type, and it delivers it brilliantly. Most of the ghost types are created around something that can be haunted, around things that are actually scaring real life. For example, dolls coming to life, and chandeliers rocking from left to right, which in a dark haunted house is absolutely terrifying. I learnt that on Halloween, actually. What else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Trevenant especially has an intriguing lure behind it, with the fact that it's basically based off lost children of the forest that died in there, and then the spirits being haunted, then the spirits haunting trees in there. It's a bit weird, but it reminds me of the Whomping Willow from Harry Potter. It also reminds me of something else as well, but I can't remember what that is. But it fascinates me, the ghost types, especially with what they're based off. I mean, Gengar is literally Clefable's shadow. So it gets more interesting as it goes on. Please, after this video, go and find out the lure of some ghost types. You'll probably be surprised at what they're based off. My favourite ghost type? Chandelure, easily. Highest special attack of any Pokemon I have, actually. Well, one of them, anyway. One of the highest special attacks. Can't really take a hit, but when it gives one out, it hurts. It really does. Anything negative? Nothing. Designs, great. Experience, really good. Stats and moveset, amazing. Very diverse. Moving on. 10th place, the flying type. Now, I'm honestly surprised the flying type's this high on the list. What was that? Okay, so not even on my birthday I could go through a whole video without an interruption. Fine. Okay. Flying, easy. It's a basic type. It's a type that you could catch on pretty much the first route of any Pokemon game, or the second route for some. Maybe the third for Unova. But what I mean is, the flying type is an important type, especially for Gen 1 onwards to Gen 5. You need a flying type to fly from one city to another, because if you don't, you need to go to the PC and get one yourself. That's why flying types are so common, as people use them pretty much all the time. Even in the newer games, I still use flying types, unless it's a monotype run. Then I just walk around a lot. But it just proves that flying types are important. They need to be used, and I just realised I said Gen 1 to Gen 5. I meant Gen 1 to Gen 6. Yeah. My favourite flying type, isn't it obvious? Staraptor. The first Pokemon I ever caught, I think deserves to be on the number 1 spot for the type that's higher. I mean, don't get me wrong, yeah, Braviary was going to be in the replacement slot, but I think Staraptor deserves to be on the higher one, as I prefer to talk about Staraptor more than Braviary. They're both amazing Pokemon, both really close with a ranking of, let's say, if I was to choose between them, but Staraptor always wins. Moveset isn't as diverse, but it's my first Pokemon I ever caught, great experiences with it, and I used it in my Pokemon Platinum playthrough, which was actually probably my favourite playthrough I ever did. There's a bit of a hint to saying, oh, he must really like Sinnoh then, doesn't he? I should. It's the first region I started in. I got my first ever Pokemon from it. I got my first ever capture from it. And I got my second favourite Pokemon from Sinnoh. And my third as well. I don't know if I'll be talking about my third. Actually, I will. But that'll be later. Moving on. 9th place, kicking off into the top half, is the Fighting type. Fighting type. Wow. The Fighting type sounds like a bit of a bland type from the beginning, because, well, hey, it's literally normal types, but with steroids. And that's what they were at the start. Normal types with steroids. But as the generations went on, the Fighting types became more unique, which is why they boosted up a bit. And the experience I had using them, amazing. Like, main Pokemon from the Fighting type that I use and liked are Lucario, Blaziken, Infernape, Scrafty to an extent, and even Breloom, Riolu once or twice, and Machamp. I don't normally use Machamp, but Machamp really pulls through in some of the battles I'd use him in. There are other Fighting types as well that I may have forgot to name, but those are the main Pokemon there. Anything negative to say about them? Yeah, there is actually. That's the fact that it's an underrated type like Bug, just not as underrated. My favourite Fighting type? My second favourite Pokemon of all time, Lucario. Lucario is probably the most unique out of all the Fighting types there. Like, maybe a bit biased on my side. But the reason why I say it's the most unique Fighting type, because it's a Pokemon that senses aura. And yeah, the other Pokemon that could sense aura, but Lucario does it better than all of them. It's literally called the Aura Pokemon. And its signature move, Aura Sphere, and is when it Mega Evolves, its design is amazing, and I feel like, and I know this is probably the reason why it's got a Mega, but the aura it has between itself and its trainer just boosts up a lot, hence the Mega Evolution. Lucario was probably the coolest looking Pokemon I've ever seen in Gen 4. But as time went on, I did grow a bit detached from Lucario. But then I caught it in Black 2 and White 2. I used it, and along with Samurott, it was the strongest Pokemon on my team. Anything negative to say? No. Lucario is the definition of a perfect Pokemon. And as I said in the Steel type ranking, if I got to have a Pokemon in real life, it'll be Lucario. Because it'll be cool to have a Pokemon that you don't need to feed water to just to survive. But also the fact you could feel like you could talk to without even talking yourself. You just use your mind to talk. Like, if he can understand your thoughts, you should be able to understand his, because he transmits your thoughts into his. Or its. But still, that's why Lucario is my favourite Pokemon. Well, my favourite Fighting type. And it remains to be probably the most unique out of all of them, out of all the fighting types. Hence, best fighting type. Moving on, 8th place. Oh, I don't want to talk about the site, but I have to, but I'm getting my ass delivered by one. I'm getting my ass delivered by two, actually. Oh, hold on. Reese doesn't have one, Brandon doesn't have one, Lucas is using one, and so is the extra trainer. Yeah, I'm getting my ass handed to by this type, and that's the psychic type. The psychic type, I get beaten a lot by some of the Pokemon here. What can I say? Psychic types have the highest special attack stats, and in Gen 1 especially, they were the type to have. If you do not have a psychic type in Gen 1, you're literally like, okay, you chose the hard route. Even if you chose Bulbasaur, you still have the hard route. Because psychic types are known to have barely any weaknesses. Its only weakness is Ghost and Bug in Gen 1. But Bug was weak, and the Ghost types there were weak to Psychic. What the hell? Psychic types are broken in Gen 1, but when Gen 2 came out, Dark types, yes, they fixed it. Well done. You fixed the Psychic types. But then Dragon types came broken. Then Gen 6 came, then they got broken as well. But it just goes on. The Psychic types were the strongest type and still remain to be one of the strongest types. Yeah. If there's any negatives to say, no. We had the type with the highest physical attack. Now let's have the type with the highest special attack. And what better way to have it than the strongest Psychic type in Gen 1 that's not a legendary? Alakazam. Alakazam is the Psychic type I'm getting my ass handed to twice. One, Lucas has just begun using Alakazam for this challenge, and I'm sure I will get my ass handed to. I did one-shot it, but that's besides the point. It was merely a fluke. But with the facts that I am confident it will start to show its true colours, I will start losing some battles a bit easier than I did yesterday. And with the other trainer using Psychic types, she's at the last battle right now. The final battle, she's at it right now. And honestly, I'm nervous for that battle. If I lose, she's completed the gym challenge. And I do not want to lose. I really hate losing. But losing someone that is using Alakazam along with a Garchomp and a Gengar and a Wishiwashi, a Toucannon and an Incineroar, it's not the best team to lose to, as 3 of them are not particularly strong. But then the other 3 are kind of strong. And that, I'm just not happy losing to that team. It's bad enough I lost to it multiple times. If I lose to it in my strongest team, I'll just be gutted. But don't worry. I'm sure everything will go to plan, and hopefully I'll win. I doubt it, but hopefully I will. Alakazam's design, however, amazing, mega, I love it, and you get to have the chance of having any other ability of other Pokemon. The second trainers, Alakazam, the one I'm not going to say the name to, she Mega Evolved Alakazam going against Dark types. It sounds stupid, but then you realise, wait a minute, what's a Dark type? Greninja. Yeah. I used a Protein Greninja in that, and she Mega Evolved it whilst I was using it. She one-shotted the Greninja, and I had to deal with a Protein Alakazam that changes types so often. And I was just like, oh, so this is how I lose. And it was. I lost that battle. But it was like, that's actually really clever. I would not have thought about that. So I need to say that was one of the best battles I had, even though it was a bit of a sweep after the Alakazam came out. But whatever. I still liked it. Moving on. 7th place, the Poison type. Now, for some reason, Poison types are hated by a lot of people, but I like the Poison types. What can I say about it? I just like the edginess to it. It's not evil, but it's just more like on the dark side of things. Just, well, not dark, but that's a bit ironic. But it's just sneaky, not cheeky, but just a bit slick with how they do their thing. If I was to say one thing about the poison type, their weakness are two very common types. One being psychic, the other being ground. More on that later, because 6 types left and you're bound to see ground soon. Just not sure when. My favourite poison type has to be one with one weakness, because I'm not happy going against both of them. I don't want to go against a team. I don't want to use poison types if they have if they have a weakness to two very common types. So my favourite poison type has to be one that can have one weakness, or with a certain item, none. And that is none other than Drapion. Drapion, probably one of my favourite designs out of all the poison types, honestly. But wait, there's more. Drapion adds on to that its design, like I said, is amazing. Its appearance in the anime, especially in Ash vs. Paul in the Sinnoh League, is amazing. And the fact that one of my challengers in the gym challenge, Lucas, is using one, I just like to see what he would be doing with it. Because I suggested multiple times, hey, give it an air balloon, you have no weaknesses then. But I like to know what he's going to do with the moveset to try and make it diverse, add stab, but also add coverage as well. At the moment, his moveset, from what I remember, is Toxic Spikes, Poison Jab, X-Scissor, and Earthquake. And coming from the professional Adam Pinion, it's not really professional, but I'm going to say his weakest move, and the move I don't really see him using very often, is Toxic Spikes. I'm not saying that so I could get rid of that weakness if he's watching this, because I know he is. Hello! But more along the lines of the fact that he doesn't really send out Drapion first. And the reason why I'm saying that is because when I'm using a Toxic Spikes user, I send out either first or second. Lucas doesn't. Hence why I'm thinking maybe replace it for a dark type move. That way you can have stab with poison jab as well. But that's just my opinion. He doesn't need to listen to it. I doubt he would. Just like I would say, hey, get rid of X-Scissor for Ice Fang. That way you could take care of ground types. You're welcome. But Drapion's moveset, amazing. I actually caught a shiny one in the Ultra Wormhole, which is something which boosts it up a lot. Hence why 2 Cannon is higher than it is in the Flying and Normal. But that's it. Moving on, 6th place, the ground type. I did not think it'd be that early, but whatever. Poison types are sandwiched between their two weaknesses. The ground type is there for the simple reason I like them. One of my favourite Pokemon is a ground type. One of my favourite ground types has this ability where if in a sandstorm, its speed raises very high and is terrifying to go against. You won't know her, but the challenger that's gone against that Excadrill says it for herself. Yeah, that is a terrifying Pokemon to go against, considering that I have nothing to do with that sandstorm, because she doesn't have any weather boosting moves. So after I set out that sandstorm, she knows as soon as that Pokemon goes down and has that sandstorm, Excadrill is coming out, and it's not here to play rock, paper, scissors or hopscotch. It's here to murder. And that's what she learned. It took her 5 attempts to beat that Pokemon. And that's with the rest of the steel types, because I'm Mega Metagross there. The Sandstorm user, I'm not going to say that actually. And 3 other steel types there, which I'm not going to say because I don't want the people watching this that are part of the gym challenge to know which one's the Sandstorm user. So, yeah. Only going to tell you 2 of the steel types there. Excadrill, Metagross. And you know that Metagross is a Mega. And moving on to my favourite ground type. Isn't obvious. Has been my 3rd favourite Pokemon of all time. From Gen 4, you know it as the pseudo-legendary Synthia's ace Pokemon, Garchomp. Now, I don't know what it is about Gen 4. Most of the Pokemon mentioned here are from Gen 4. we have Staraptor, Lucario, Drapion, Garchomp. Soon to be another 2 Pokemon on that. And I think all of them were actually on that. Hold on. So, hold on. Staraptor, yeah, that was on that team. Lucario, yep. Drapion, okay, not that one, but Garchomp was. That one is. 5 other Pokemon I'm about to mention soon. Well, 2 more that I'm about to mention, and 3 of the Gen 4 Pokemon I just mentioned, they're on my Platinum team. What was the other one? I think it's probably a Water type user. I think it was probably a Water type, so that means it was... Oh no, it wasn't. It was Luxray. It wasn't a Water type at all. I had to swap out for Big Barrel for that. That wasn't a great team, but it's still really fun. But Garchomp, great design. It's the best pseudo legendary, and I'm probably dreading the battle with Lucas coming up next week or later tonight. I don't know. No, not tonight. Oh, I got my days mixed up. Okay, when I said yesterday, I mean Sunday. Sunday, 8th of December. And when I say tonight, I meant not tonight because I'm actually busy tonight. What I meant to say was this upcoming Sunday. I'm dreading going against Lucas because he is a Garchomp and a Dragonite, a Lucario, a Blaziken, a Probopass, which is okay, I guess, and a Volcarona. I am dead. There's nothing I can do. But Garchomp, it's just amazing. Stats, great. Moveset, great. Design, great. Mega, awful. But appearance in the anime, fantastic. 5th place. We're in the top 5 now. And what better way to kick it off than the second of the starter trio, being the Fire type. Burn, baby, burn. Okay, Fire types, I don't know what to say about it. It's the staple of Pokemon. Like, I know electric types are also the staple, but I see the Fire types as a better staple in Pokemon, as I see more people using Fire types than electric types. Any negatives to say? Probably, no, there isn't. Its weaknesses have some common, some not common, which is good. And resistances, great. Any, like I said, no negatives. Let's get right to my favourite Fire type, being Infernape. Infernape, my first ever Pokemon of all time, and probably the one which will always, well, it will always be my first favourite Pokemon, but it'll always be my favourite starter. Well, my favourite Fire type starter. It will be my favourite Fire type starter for as long as I live. And unless there's another Fire type starter that comes in that decides to be like, I'm going to be better than Infernape, then yeah, I'll give you a chance. Cinderace? Nah, no chance. Delphox? No. Incineroar? Hell nah. Typhlosion? No. Charizard? Close, but no. Blaziken? Hell no. Emboar? Get the hell out of here. Get out. I mean it. Meh. Yeah. Infernape? Great design. I love its appearance in the anime, especially in Ash vs. Paul. Anything else? Yeah, everything about Infernape. Great. Even my one even has Thunder Punch. Good luck. 4th place, the Dragon type. Now, this one, I'm surprised is actually this low. And it's really high on this list. I'm surprised it's lower than it is. Because I thought it'd be in the top 2. But no! Top 4! God, what's going on with my voice? I need to get a drink because I'm losing my voice right now. Dragon types. It's the most overpowered type in Pokemon. But surprisingly, according to Arizo's best type, which type is the strongest video, is actually not the strongest. It's actually the 3rd strongest. The Dragon type has lost to Fairy, which came 2nd, and a type which I'll be talking about later. But the Dragon types, it's just there for how strong it is. It's the highest average base stats of all the Pokemon put together. Has the least amount of Pokemon I like in that type. And most of the Pokemon in that Dragon type, they look amazing. Goodra and Jodigan aren't amazing looking, but that's besides the point. Goodra's still in my top 10. My favourite Dragon type, considering I already said Garchomp, what's second place on that ranking? What is second place on that ranking? I'm hoping this is right. What's second place on that ranking? Yep, it is correct. Haxorus. Haxorus is, of course, my favourite dragon type for this sector, because Garchomp's already taken. But the simple reason why Haxorus is here, why not? It's great design. It's a monotype dragon. It's actually a pure dragon type, which is okay. Moveset, okay. Appearance in the anime, not great. But I love Drayden's one in Pokemon Generations. That reminds me, dragon type gym leaders. Claire, Drayden, Raihen, I think that's how you pronounce his name. They're all amazing characters. I'll go as far to say, hey, they're probably one of my favourite gym leaders. But none of them are my favourites. My favourite belongs to a different type, which I'm not going to say because I might do a video on that later. So yeah, that's dragon types. Third place, the final of the starter trio, Water. Now, Water is known to be the most common type in Pokemon, and also home to my strongest gym team. The team which even my dragon types couldn't beat. And that's because all of them have ice type moves. But they also beaten steel, they've beaten electric, and they've beaten grass as well. That team has beaten its weaknesses. If you're thinking of going against that team with a full team of electric and grass types, you're in for a tough time because they can deal with their weaknesses easily. But yeah, Water. I love it. I love most of the water types design. And considering that I used to do swimming when I was younger and loved the water, I would be happy to just be like, you know what, I love the water. I think I might live in the ocean. I'm regretting I obviously won't live in the ocean, but I think swimming has always been a part of me, which is like, I think I go back to that every now and then and introduce other people to it if they're not really big fans of water. I mean, this is a bit of a personal story, but my mother was actually terrified of water because the fact that she nearly drowned 25 years ago in water. But now, look at her now. She's doing scuba diving, which from someone who doesn't really know the full reason why she's scared of water, but knows she is. Know that she's terrified when I go swimming, and then just see her do that. It's probably one of the most proudest things I've ever seen, and it's the proudest achievement in my mother's life. And the water type's always been there for that reason, the fact that most of the Pokemon there are amazing, and the fact water is a big part of my life, good or bad. My favourite water type, my favourite Pokemon of all time. I have the badge of it right here. That's Greninja. Greninja. What can I say about Greninja? It's amazing. Stats, great. Moveset, great. Design, great. Abilities, perfect. Any Greninja you go against is most likely going to have a different moveset because its moveset is so diverse. You cannot know what they're going to have. Hence why Greninja is my favourite water type. And it's my favourite dark type, but I won't be mentioning it in the dark type. Second place, the steel type. Steel type is actually the strongest type in Pokemon, with 3 weaknesses. Two types it's strong against, which doesn't sound good. But the main reason why it is the strongest type is because it has a whopping 10 resistances and 1 immunity. If you still do not think Steel type is the strongest type, then honestly, what the hell is wrong with you? Steel type resists the fairy and resists the dragon types. The second and third strongest type. So, what's your excuse there? What else can I say about the steel types? Yeah, most of them look a bit bland. They show the least amounts of facial expressions, but what can I say? It's still a great type. I don't know what I can say about it apart from probably just great. I don't know why I actually like the steel types. I think it just has to be with their resistances, and every time I use one, it puts up a really good fight. I mean, I said this in my steel type ranking. It is known to be like, haha, I got a steel type here, and it has a lot of resistances. Pick wisely with your moves. And that's what it does. It's great. Actually forces my opponents to think about what they're going to do. Unless they just wing it and just go like, oh, just do psychic. Joke's on you. I have a Bishop here. And that is the Pokemon I'll be talking about for steel types. Bishop, easily the best steel type in this category, if you ignore Lucario, actually. But Bishop, it reminds me of a Bishop in chess. I love its design. I love its ability, well, not abilities, its appearance in the anime, especially in Alan versus Ash. Its moveset and its stats, all great. The only problem is how to evolve it from Pawniard. It's a very high level. And considering Pawniard isn't the greatest Pokemon, it's just really annoying. And that leaves with the one remaining type, I'm sure you know what it is by now, and that is the Dark type. The Dark type, oh god, the Dark type. What can I say about that to this type? This type in Japan is known as the Evil type. And rightfully so. Most of the moves that are Dark type are just plain evil. Thief, Knockoff, Feint Attack, Pursuit. What else? Dark Pulse, Foul Play especially. Power Trip, which actually uses your stat boost to your advantage, which is actually really broken, but I love it. And there's so many other things about Dark types which I could talk about for ages. It has immunity to the strongest type in Gen 1. And it has a fair amount of resistances, a fair few weaknesses, but also a fair few types it's strong against. And what better Pokemon to talk about than the Dark type I used for my Platinum playthrough? Weavile. Weavile is the fastest Dark type in Gen 4. And also probably the most cheekiest when it comes to using its moves. Because its moveset is rather diverse. It can learn Beat Up, which is another Dark type move, which is a bit on the bad side, on the evil side. But its moveset, diverse, stats, great. Design, great. And abilities, not great, but whatever. Its ability is Pressure. And that actually makes your opponent use 2 PP for 1 move. Which is actually really useful, especially when you're battling a Pokemon, especially when you're battling someone who tends to stall you out. And that being said, that's the end of this ranking. And also a great way to end my birthday. As you can tell, I recorded this video at night when I have a brief time to breathe. I'll be uploading it as soon as I finish. And after that, when it's uploaded, I'm going out. Going out to not get wasted because I have college tomorrow. But just spend time with family and friends. Mainly family, because my friends aren't available. Kind of ironic, isn't it? Say, for my friend's 18th, go to them. Spend time with them because they invite me over. I invite my friends around for my 18th. They can't make it. That sounds fair, doesn't it? Yeah. Anyway, that's all for this time. If you liked what you saw or heard, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe. Press on the notification bell down in the corner below. This has been not the longest video I've done, but close to it as well. And I'll see you next time.